And in the interest of time, I wanted to go a little bit deeper, but since we still have to also present Brian's parts too, Greg, I'm just going to go over it from a more high level overview of every step. And so let me just begin with kind of the plan of the demo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start talking about intakes. And from there, we're going to go into case management, look at the different job seeker profiles, and then we'll tie it into business services. And at that point, we'll have time for the analytics and the reporting. Does that sound good to you?
And well, I want to make sure one of those is going to cover when you say the intake. I know that's the profile build and stuff. Is that the resume building, uploading, or whatever as well? And that aspect of it.
That aspect of it will take part on the case management / looking at job seeker profiles. But
yeah,
that'll be
they're going to get excited about this dashboard. I was actually hoping that there was a way to kind of hide this dashboard at the end, to show it to them at the end. Can I just like the wow factor of the dashboard? You know what I mean? I'm thinking along the line. No, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what I think will work for these people best. I think a solid product's going to sell itself. But the reality is there's things they have in mind, for what they have or what they think they're going to have with Workforce Connect and these other things that they're looking for. And we need to focus on, delivering those and then be able to say, and on top of that, boom, you get this executive dashboard and here's what that shows you. Because that's like the value add stuff that they're not even thinking about right now, that once they see it, they have to have it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so remember that, Amir. So I think the executive dashboard we can show at the end because that'll give them the full understanding,
Gotcha.
Yeah, and this part here, if there's any way to shortcut the intake so you don't have to fill in all the fields. You did whoever did the demo and the video, just put in a couple key required fields. Obviously this can be customized to your needs and stuff like that, because that's going to be big for a few people because, if they say yes to military, then they want to ask certain questions, other questions. If they say no, then don't bother asking them, all that kind of, if then else kind of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Really, the plan of going through intake is I'm going to discuss with you the whole matching possibility on the Launchpad platform and how that operates. But I don't really have to fill out too many of these fields. I'm just going to briefly fill out the only key field that's needed, which is just the last name here. And I'll kind of, again, mention that all these fields that you see here can be customized. But this is just based on the standard intake, and it really consolidates that application process for that job seeker. So with that said, I'm just going to skip all the way to right here. And let's talk about kind of one of the key pieces of the Launchpad platform is matching employers and job seekers together based on skill matching. And so what happens is you really have, business data, employer data all together, and they might have a list of jobs or internships or programs that they're offering, and each of them might have certain skill requirements. So either when somebody's going through this intake process, they can record what skills that individual has. And I'm just going to select a couple just to show you an example.
And for our own board, we could have as many or as few of these as we want?
Exactly. You can customize them. This is just a standard set based off of the demos that we've been launching. It's just containing multiple different wide variety of skills.
Can we add one that's not here?
Yes, of course. You can totally add one. And,
perfect.
I'll show you on the case management how you can directly add them, even if you don't do it here. So I have a couple skills here. Now I'm just going to skip toward the very end of the intake process. Where I click Save and Enroll Programs. And so apart from the employer and job opportunities that this matching skill works on, it also creates eligibilities for programs that any individual organization might have as well. And so you can bulk enroll that individual in programs based on the criteria that they just set. And we'll go over.
Now, when you say that, so let me ask you that. When you say you can bulk based on the eligibility, so who is completing this information? Is it the job seeker themselves?
Great question. When you say completing the information, do you mean the intake? Because it could be the job seeker or the case manager.
Yeah, who's creating the account?
It could really be anybody. Okay. It could be the person by himself through self-service portals. It could be a case manager. It could be an executive. It could be a staff member, a partner. It really depends how you want to have that business process flow. But
And it's making that determination of eligibility based on the information they entered in the intake form.
Exactly. And this eligibility criteria is set by whoever, configures the programs or jobs. So for the jobs, would be the
all great stuff to say.
Yep. So, I'm going to go to a contact record right now and show you what this whole overview looks like. So I can click enroll programs, but I already have a pre-populated contacts here. And let's go over case management from start to finish, getting a full 360 view of every trackable metric on that individual. The first thing is just that aspect of skills. So you notice I added a couple of skills to that one individual, but you can always add more directly by clicking add skills at the top right.
Okay. And again, I'm going to ask the question. When we were looking at that, is it the job seeker looking at their own information, or is it a case manager looking at an individual? Or
at this point, it's going to be an individual or a case manager looking at this. But on the portals, we can do the self-service. And Jonathan, if you wanted to add into that, feel free.
Yeah. So everything you're seeing here, it's with your staff and case managers getting access to intaking and reports and job matching and career matching. But on the self-service side, that's where the job seekers and employers can log into the system, and it's a community portal that they can self-service themselves.
Yep.
And then all the information that they're inputting in that self-service side gets recorded on your back end. So that's what you guys see here.
So is the plan to show in your demo to show the job seeker side as well?
Yes, absolutely. Right after Amir is done with this part.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. I would recommend showing the job seeker view first, and then come and show what the case manager would. But I mean, for now, finish what you're doing here. But I think when we present it Tuesday, you get if it doesn't hurt your flow too badly, I think showing what the job seeker sees on their own dashboard, because now people are going to be thinking, well, we designed a great dashboard for Workforce Connect. How are you going to, what's yours going to look like?
I get it. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and the reality is all this stuff that you're showing me now, we don't have any of that. So now it's like, okay, here's what we can do that's just as good as what you have in Workforce Connect, and we give you this side of it too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Cool. All right.
And that's not all,
Yeah, I mean, we're just scraping the service here.
So like I'm at Costco trying to buy a knife.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, go ahead, Amir.
You can get two, and that's not all. Oh, okay. Sorry.
No,
I'm getting excited. This is great.
No worries. It's going to get even better. But I have listed those skills that we set before, but you'll notice what it created it's called matches. And that's just these skills meeting the criteria of certain jobs. So for example, this individual, because of his skills, he's a certain percentile match for this job in particular. In this case, if we go to, let's say, pharmacy technician, right? We go to this match, I can automatically create a job application by clicking apply for job for that individual. So if a case manager was looking at this, they can create that application for this individual. If I go back to that person's contacts, you can see now they have a new application for that position, which was the pharmacy technician here. And what happens here is you can actually track the stage process of that application. And if I go to it, for example, we have the job application, but we can see right now it's only in the applied stage. You can, after that, go to the interviewing, if they got offered or hired or declined, and the reasons behind it. So you can track that application process for each individual. And at some point, if they get accepted, it'll be recorded under hires. So you'll be able to see this individual has been hired for XYZ job. In that case, it was a pharmacy technician. And you can kind of see the process, the wage that they're earning. The employer. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Greg.
I'm going to say I got about 3 or 4 questions already. I'm sorry to keep interrupting you. No, but this is good. So now, when you did the job search and found all the possibilities, all those possibilities, that were potential matches, where did those come from? How did they get there?
So great question. So this is the tie-in to the employer data. And so what's going to happen is you might have employer data stored that you'll import into the system, and they'll be tracked under the employer accounts right here. So if I click on this, you can see a list of all businesses. And some of them, so if I go to Home Depot, for example, you'll see they have certain jobs that they offer open for hiring, right? And usually they'll have current number of openings, current number of hires. So for example, they have 2 jobs that are open right now. And we have a report of this as well. But once a person gets hired.
Home Depot,
Sorry?
I'm sorry. Does Home Depot need the license with you to be able to get in here, or how does is it something that we permit, or something that they are they signing up for your jobs database or something like that, or how's that working?
So, do you want me to answer that, Amir?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So the way it works is there's two options. Either a business service rep can gather information from Home Depot and input it themselves, or you can give Home Depot a community license and they can log on to that self-service portal section and then upload their own jobs whenever they have any openings.
Okay, so we could buy a license for them to be able to do this, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay.
but the
Perfect.
community
Okay.
portal licenses, they're a dime to the dollar versus a real full license, And so if the employers want to
okay.
be on there, you can get 100 employers on there for $1 versus one employee for one license.
Yeah.
You get it? Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I get it. So that gives them now. And I don't want to say it just yet, but is there a piece here where you're showing like where an employer has a view as well?
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be on the portal
Okay.
side.
Yeah, that
Save that one. That's cool too. That's another cool one, but save that. Okay. So
So there's
so you had all the jobs. I'm sorry, you had all the jobs, and then you selected one, and you effectively applied for it. So is that effectively a case manager applying that particular individual for the home
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
whatever job it was?
Directly,
Okay.
yes, yep.
Mhm.
So we have a couple things. We got the self-service aspect of it, where that individual, either the job seeker or the employer, fills out that information, or we have the kind of the internal side, where a case manager or any other staff or person on your team, user, will provide that information and populate it.
Okay, so the job seeker could apply themselves, or we could do that for them. And at that point,
Exactly.
Home Depot would look at the application and say, "Yeah, he's worth an interview. Let's bring him in."
Right.
So now they interview the person, they hire him, whatever part of the process. As you follow along that process, you were saying how you followed it along. How is that information getting updated?
So a couple ways. Mostly, if it's internal, they can do this manually. Your case manager, so they'll say this person applied for this job. This is their job application, and they got offered a position or an offer right there. And so once they choose this manually, they can actually report on this too.
Mhm.
So whether it's either field tracking to see the changes on this record, or just overall seeing that this individual kind of made it through the process.
One of the things that was brought up from the team is that getting that information is difficult for us.
Mhm.
So I didn't know if somehow, if we're giving Home Depot a license and they get, we fed them an applicant, or an applicant came through our system and flew to, I don't know if we can quote unquote require them to, to specify what they, the disposition of that individual. We say, oh, here, we're applying that individual for your position. And they have to say, yes, we're going to interview him, or no, we don't find him a fit. Okay, fine. You said, yes, you interview him. Now the next step is, did you hire him or not? And they have to, is there any way to require some of that for, on the employer to basically keep us informed? Did they fill the job? Or did they, because otherwise we're seeing it here unless they make it a point to pull it down, right? And if it's already filled, I'm just wondering how that gets, effectively managed so the information is current.
And I think that has to do with like the business service reps that have that relationship with the employer. But then on the job seeker side, you guys can also set up notifications, tasks, 30, 60, 90-day check-ins, SMS.
Perfect.
SMS drip campaigns have been really beneficial too. And so you can actually text the person that it has the interview and say, hey, Amir, I saw that on your profile, I saw that you got an interview with Home Depot. How did it go? And Amir can text back, I got the position. And then you can text back, oh, that's great. How much did they start you off, and when do you start? And then Amir's like, oh, they started me off at $18 an hour, and I start this Friday. And while Amir's entering this information, all of it gets recorded.
It's updated throughout the process. I like that. Yeah, if you can mention that automated I don't know what's the
SMS
reminder or tagging or whatever to say, hey, automatic check, to say, hey, I saw you,
guys,
that would be great. That's another nice benefit. Sorry, go ahead. You have 9 minutes.
Yeah, I have
9 minutes.
9 minutes. So let me kind of go through this little overall, and so kind of show you more of the cool stuff too. So that's kind
Yeah,
of matching
please.
criteria. That also ties into programs as well. So you'll notice because they selected certain things in the intake process or lack thereof, that individual becomes eligible for different programs, and you can enroll them in it just by going in eligibility and then clicking enroll.
Okay. Now for
And
us,
then
I
hitting
think
save.
it'll be like a recommendation to a role because we'll have separate
Exactly.
partners that will have to make that decision. Okay.
Right,
Perfect.
right. And when you do that, again, there's this whole process of enrollment that you can track. So you can see exactly what program that individual is enrolled in. And again, just like how the application has stages, the enrollment has stages too. So if they're in a business solutions program, let me go back here, go to this enrollment real quick. They can track the stage process. Are they just eligible? Do they enroll? Do they complete it? Is there follow-up needed? And at that point, you can also add what services that individual is getting through this enrollment. So whether that's, if I click add multiple services here, are you providing workforce training, interview support, internship opportunities? You can actually select and create your own list of services here and then assign that to the enrollment. And then, of course, report on it too. So you can track your enrollments, track who's receiving what services, and then any follow-ups on that information. So that's just the enrollment piece from a high level. Let me go to the fun stuff now. And before I do that, let me touch on three last things. We have this aspect, so the matching, the eligibilities, the enrollments and such. We also have just goals and employment plans. So internally, a job seeker, either on their self-service portal or a case manager can record, like, what is this individual's goal and what are they trying to accomplish employment-wise? And so you can actually set up those metrics and goals here, and then a process to follow it and record information about how that individual is getting there. Apart from that, the last thing is document management. And so you can actually upload files and documents directly to these individual job seeker records and track them there. So for example, this guy, I uploaded a sample resume for him that he can keep on file here. Either he does this directly as a case manager would do it or through the self-service aspect. And then that information is here for them to refer to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it all makes perfect sense. I love all of it. And they can they upload multiple resumes?
Oh, of course. They can upload multiple resumes. They can change the files they uploaded already and modify them. And there's on every object you have the ability to upload stuff. So not just job seeker information, but once we go to an employer account and I show you business services, you can actually import in documents related to that as well as assessments too.
Yeah. And Greg, the good thing is you can upload multiple resumes, you can upload registration forms, licenses, certifications, any type of documentation that you want to improve your job profile with.
Right. So with that being said, let me shoot through business services from a really high level. I don't have too much time to get deep into it. But,
no, I was going to ask you real quick. Effectively from the employee side, it's the same thing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I think instead of showing both, I think you basically say, what I'm showing you is actually something from the CSR side, but or the case manager side, but this is all the same, reasonably the same, on the employee side. So, but I wanted to show you what you'll see from a case manager side, so you can see what you have access to as well. And I think we can kind of kill both birds, because I'm thinking 45 minutes is going to be a lot of questions, a lot of excitement with you hitting on all these things. So maybe we kind of shortcut it, the showing the other side. Do that little quick, maybe just show a couple pages on the portal and do exactly what you did. But I already have an account set up, so let me show you this, and boom, bring us here and do what you were going to do. Now go ahead. What were you going to do for the next thing?
Talk about assessments and business services and engagement. And really, this is to reduce employer fatigue, consolidate all data, and track it all. So one aspect is recording assessments that are sent out to each business on the record itself. So you're going to have a list of employers in the system, and your BSR reps can actually go in and upload assessments for each record. So for example, they would add an assessment to this Home Depot account, and there's certain assessment information they're filling out. I'm not going to fill any of this out, but what do they need help with? Is the business stable? How long was it operating for? Do they have any certifications? Are they hiring? Any information they want to fill out here, they can fill it out and then attach it. And you'll notice here, there's a record of that with all the information populated on it that they can track and report on too. Now, the rest of it is, go ahead. Questions?
So I'm going to ask you a question. So I'm not 100% sure we even have BSRs, to be honest with you. I'm not sure something we do. Maybe we ask that question and then, maybe mention to them that we have all this functionality, where if you decide to build the interface, with your employer side, I can show it to you. We can table that, and kind of give them the option is what I'm thinking.
Sure.
Because if we don't have BSRs, this is, there'd be a little less excitement about hearing about this piece of it.
Right.
Like I said, I'm not 100% sure we even have them. But we should. Sounds like we should.
I mean, those assessments are really good because, it causes employer fatigue. If you ask the employer the same questions over and over again, they're not going to want to continuously help you guys.
Yeah, and that might be something to do with why we have no BSRs.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I
Amir,
literally have a minute or two.
Go ahead.
So the last piece, again, we track the hires. So this Home Depot had some jobs, and now they actually have one hire out of those jobs that's being recorded. So it'll tell you who the individual is, what the position is, when they were hired, information about their job, their program, all that. Event tracking and calendars, I'll go over that at the very end, but you can actually track any events that these businesses have, whether that's trade shows, internship opportunities, career fairs, any services that you guys are directly providing them, financial, workforce planning, counseling, any program services as well. Any points of contact. So who are the individuals that either run the company, what are their roles, their titles, and how do they operate within the company as well? And this could also be employees too, like we mentioned. And then the last thing is, if this employer is receiving any benefits, and if so, what is that program that they're enrolled in? So similar how we have that for the job seeker, we also have enrollments for the employer as well, and what they're offering. But apart from that, let me just go over the last piece, the activities. So tracking all the collaboration aspect, we have a module called Chatter for collaboration, which is basically an internal message board that you can create tasks, events, log calls, put posts up, and then record field tracking, which is saying anytime somebody makes a change to this record or this employer overall, it'll track exactly who did it at what time, and you can comment on that. So you can track any updates that occur to any record through that field tracking aspect.
No, this is all awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just concerned we're not going to get it all in 45 minutes, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
so I'm just trying to figure out how we prioritize it.
I'm barely over the first two, and I'm out of time here. But the last piece, I'll skip the calendar piece and just go directly to analytics. Again, we have the dashboard. This is just basically pulling from multiple different categories that you guys can customize. Some of it is from the employer data. Others is from just programs and eligibilities and enrollments. And you can see just each of them can be categorized to whatever standard that you want to set based on whatever amount of data that you're looking at. So you can get really granular or really look at it from a high level from the macro sense. In this case, this executive dashboard is more of a high level dashboard. So it's looking at top regions or top industries by region. But each region, if it has its own case managers working in it, will have their own regional dashboard or their own local dashboard. Any way that you can kind of break down the reports, that's all possible. So with that, go ahead.
I'm saying each person can set it up their own way?
Yep, exactly. Each person can have their own individual user dashboard. So whatever information they want to see, we can build reports custom just to them and then have them in their own dashboard. Or they can also see other people's dashboards if you want them to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. I mean, I know you have to go, and I appreciate you staying late. Jonathan, you can hang on, maybe kind of figure out next steps here. Thanks, Amir.
Thanks so much
and
for your
Brian,
time.
Thank you, sir.
Talk to you guys on Tuesday. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, Brian.
Hi,
I see you joined too. Can you hear us? There you are.
Yes, I didn't want to interrupt the demo Amir was giving.
No.
But, looks like it was going well.
Fast and furious trying to cover it all. It was great. I mean, we had some technical glitches, but that was on both sides, so we got through that. So we probably spent 45 minutes going through that. I mean, part of that was me giving you some background. So I what's your feel for this, Jonathan? Are we going to be able to get it all in? Because obviously I was interrupting a lot, and I think that you're going to get a lot of questions similar to what I just did. And Amir obviously was talking quite fast to try to get to it all. But how do we, I don't know. What do you think? I'm just thinking we don't have enough time to cover it all. Because he left out some stuff, didn't he? Oh, Jonathan, you're on mute.
Let me see.
Yep.
You might have a set, like a technical thing.
Yeah. So Brian, you work with Amir, right?
Yeah, I do. And
yeah. So will you not be there on Tuesday?
Oh no, I'm going to be there on Tuesday. Oh, we'll both be there.
Oh, you will.
So,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Jonathan's going to present something, I think. Or what is that?
So
changed my screen.
Oh yes.
Oh, Brian, you're presenting. Okay. Yeah, no, because I was wondering.
Well, I'm strategizing because we only have 45 minutes, and I was thinking, do we still want to present our communities? And I was thinking, or just want to really stick to internal, but really to make the best use of that time.
Yeah, and that's the key thing. I mean, we're touching on so much, and I'm just trying to find the right ones that are going to be the best triggers. I definitely think we need a couple minutes for the dashboard because even if we don't get to spend a lot of time on that, it leaves them wanting more. What we can do with that. The initial setup. I'm just thinking on the demo side of what we talked about. The initial setup, the account, a couple quick screens, and then jump into an existing account. That should only take a couple minutes if we do it that way. If we start, I don't care. Now that I know, I think the job seeker side and the case manager side are virtually are quite similar. We can show us, from either side, but showing it from the case manager side ultimately will have a little more weight because it's showing the people that you're pitching to what they'll get to see. So I think that's really good. And if you're telling them that the job seeker will be able to see this about themselves, and you'll be able to see it for all your customers, that kind of thing. I think that's
exactly
what we covered there. All those things across that we were covering, the process through the job hunt process, how to apply to programs and stuff. I think we need to hit all of that. So I think, there'll be some questions there. I think obviously I stopped you a lot in the actual PowerPoint presentation, which won't happen, when we're going through it. So I think if we do that, maybe it'll take us half the time to do that. But what else didn't we cover that you were thinking we wanted to try to cover based on the list that I sent you?
So we do have external portals with Launchpad. So I just wanted to show you very briefly what it visually looks like and thinking, do we want to delve into this or we want to really stick to internal? Really, this is, for example, we have an internal grant management system. I don't know if maybe that's something we want to review a little bit or if that's maybe,
This one's not the grant management. I don't think is going to be for this group that we're talking about on Tuesday.
Okay.
But there was a slide that Jonathan had that had all the functions and features, and grant management was listed as one of them. So I definitely want it mentioned. And you can say, we're focused today just on certain these aspects here. But just keep in mind, we have these other capabilities, and we'd be happy to, talk to you about them as well. Whenever you'd like, one of those type of things. Is I think, Jonathan. I mean, you seem to be stuck on mute right now, but I can visualize Jonathan nodding his head. So.
Yeah. Okay. We'll make sure to do that piece. This is all recorded too, so I'm going to share it from here later. So that's perfect. So we won't cover this part. It's nice visually, but we'll wait on that. Now, the only other two ones that are portals that we didn't go into depth, we have the job seeker portal and also the employer portal as well, where you can view workshops externally. Now, this is available internally, but do you think if we have time, you want me to try to go into maybe one of these a little bit?
So what Amir was showing us is actually effectively inside already, looking at a particular particular job seeker and their path or road to reemployment or whatever. So I liked that. I'm not sure what additional pieces this would add.
This would be if you wanted to have a portal where job seekers could apply directly into their own login.
I mean, well, we talked about that. It would be useful to be able to see what the job seeker would see,
Greg?
With their customized portal. Yes, sir.
Hey, Greg, sorry.
No worries.
No, sorry. There's something with my son, so I needed to step away. But I'll be on mute real quick. All right?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, but I need to check on my kid real quick.
No, please go ahead. Oh, family's got to come first. Okay, so I'm just trying. You saw the screen that Amir had up, right?
Yes.
And I'm sorry. So what's different about this screen here then? Is this the job seeker side right now that I'm looking at?
Yes. So this is their personal portal for that job seeker. So they would only see what is relevant to them. If you wanted to show this as an option for, yeah. Well, and that's kind of what we were talking about, and I thought they were going to be kind of similar, but do you have the ability to pull up the equivalent of what Amir had up? Oh, you mean the PowerPoint, or you mean the
No, he was logged into I think he was effectively a case manager looking at a particular job seeker.
Yeah, let me see. He has his own kind of demo org, so I might have to go back for that. But I know what you're referring to. I've seen that piece of it. Yeah. Okay. Well, he had that, how many interviews or, how many jobs has he applied to, that kind of thing, that the case manager saw. And he mentioned that the job seeker could also effectively do the same thing, meaning, he puts in his information, he puts in his skills, and then, a handful of job opportunities, based on his percentage match are displayed. You know what? I think, honestly, I think it sounds like we just show that just from how or what do you think? If we just really focus on that part of your displayed?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not as excited by what I'm looking at here. I mean, at some point we definitely need to show how the job seeker can, upload a resume or actually upload. I'll say, they can build too, I'm assuming, but hopefully they can upload a resume PDF or a Word document, and then based on that, some intelligence behind the scenes pulls out key skills or whatever and matches them to potential opportunities. Is that
so for that piece of it when they
Launchpad does?
Upload resumes and then it's reviewed internally through a process there for each one of the resumes uploaded. Now,
is it a manual process? Sorry.
Well, the job piece. So on this page, when I click I'm interested, it actually it shows you jobs that are relevant to you. So under the job matching tab right here, when I first registered,
that was my question.
Yeah.
So how did it find tow truck driver and recommend that to this particular job seeker?
So when you first registered, it asks you a couple qualifying questions. One of them is going to be your skill sets that you currently have.
Yeah.
And one is your expected wage. And based on that, it'll display back to recommended jobs.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, he showed it from the CSR side. It's probably going to be useful to spend a couple minutes kind of showing this. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not as excited about the layout of this particular dashboard. I don't know. You saw what we have. It was actually, this is. I mean, if they're going into the job search function, then that's what I want to see. But if you're telling me this is their main dashboard, I'm less excited about it.
Yeah, I think honestly, too, this is the external view, the customized portal that, for example, this is also a very similar view of the same thing. So we kind of customize it for each one of our clients. But I think then, if you'd like, I can talk through that process of how they do that job matching, and maybe just show this piece right here, how they can show you recommended jobs if you'd like. Maybe a few minutes at the very end if you want to.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, like I said, it's not as very exciting as the way it's laid out, and you know, it has the ability to, like you said, you know, upload a resume and choose which one you want to use to apply for a job. But I think a lot of tools will do that. You know, that's that kind of thing. So that's I kind of want to show more how you guys stand
the
out.
differentiators. Yeah. So maybe
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna. If you change your mind, maybe let me know. But maybe for now, we won't show this because we only have that 45 minutes. But if it changes, maybe you can send me an email, and that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we won't change in the 45 minutes, but if the other pieces move quick, you know, it might be worth to show it from the job seeker perspective. But I really like how Amir did it, you know. And conceptually, you know, what he was saying is effectively the job seeker can follow the same process. They can apply for the same jobs. They can, you know, update their status and, you know, that kind of thing. It's an important piece of it, but, you know, really the piece that's going to set you apart is some of those other things with the dashboard and stuff like that. I think I don't want to gloss over because it's an important, you know, what's the word? Basic, you know, fundamental. You know, it's a fundamental requirement, but you know, like I said, that particular dashboard, I don't think it's going to excite people too much.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll focus on the differentiators, and then if they want to, we can always bring it up. But we'll focus on differentiators like we were. So I think that sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, I think the key is going to be, like I said, with the 8 bullets or whatever it was I sent you guys, as long as we're touching on all of those, because what I mentioned to Jonathan and Amir at the beginning is, you know, we're obviously looking at other solutions, and actually people have looked at pretty deeply into other solutions, and the word back is no one else is able to do all of them. And then when I told, you know, the team that Launchpad says they can do it all, they said, well, we got to take a look at this. So that's what, you know, where the focus is. So it's a little different from what we were talking about before, by the way, Brian. I don't know where that reached you. What's happening? And,
it did.
Again, we don't have. Yeah, we don't have an NDA. So I've been dancing around. I was dancing around at the beginning, and I got to dance around it a little bit with you. But the reality is, I'm on another team that's a cross-functional team across our career services and our unemployment departments, as well as some executive office people for the labor and workforce development. And the senior executive is starting this initiative of which Workforce Connect in its current, you know, imagined iteration is a piece of it, but there's a much bigger picture. So what I'm looking at here now, instead of, you know, how can you replace Workforce Connect, it's what can you do on top of Workforce Connect. Ultimately, I see you replacing it, but I think the reality is the quick way into the door is these other pieces that nothing else is doing right now. There's a lot of sunk cost in Workforce Connect, and it's why we've been playing the game a little bit with you in terms of, you know, show Tony and I, give us enough confidence that we can go and pitch to the business, because what we're pitching them is to say, all right, you know, all that money that you spent, forget about that. Call it sunk cost and look at this. You know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. We've had that with California
approach here
too.
is not
I know
that.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah. But this approach is, okay, let's get this for this functionality, and then, hey, we already are paying for this. We already got it in the door. It can do what that guy does over there, that Workforce Connect thing. You know, do we want it to do that stuff too? You know,
Yeah.
And that's where you're getting back to the dashboard that I showed you the last time we had a quick call. So I shifted gears on you, and I, you know, apologize if I wasn't clear about that, but this new opportunity presented itself, and I got added to this team last week, and we went through several other solutions for this, you know, for those requirements that I mentioned. And there's more. It's an even bigger picture than that. But that was where the focus started. Is, you know, we need a solution that can do these things. And, you know, we went through, you know, I'll say a few of your competitors, but, you know, I won't name names. And the conclusion was, you know, none of them do it all. And I said, have you guys looked at Launchpad? And they hadn't. So that's when I emailed you guys and asked about, you know, can you do all that stuff? And, Jonathan said, yes. I told the head of the executive head in this group up. And I said, you want to see him? She said, yeah, let's get him in for our next meeting on Tuesday. So we're having a weekly meeting. We only had the kickoff last week, and you're in the second meeting. We're going to show you. So they're interested in what, how well you can do those functions there. Initially, it really is trying to keep our arms around, where to focus, because we could talk for 4 hours about all your capabilities and how it would benefit us. And I kind of want to leave all those teasers out there, and that's where that slide that Jonathan had up. I don't know if you're familiar with the deck, but it shows the tiers and the Salesforce platform, and and then this bar across the middle of all your functions. There's the grant, there's the case management. Anyway, if Jonathan comes back, we can pull that up real quick. But that becomes the teaser. It's like, here's all the things we can do. Today we're going to focus on this. We'd be certainly happy to talk to you about any of these others, if you're interested. But in the interest of time, we wanted to focus here. We were asked to focus here. Don't say you want to. Say you were asked to. And then, if they want to bring the conversation in a different direction, we can do that. But I think because of the 45 minutes and, in this group, in this meeting, and there's, like I said, a cross section of people with some different interests. There's going to be, and Jonathan and I talked about it, there's going to be a lot of questions probably wanting to be asked throughout the presentation, as particularly the demo portion. So it's got to be narrow to start, and with
it's a good strategy
for the rest of the stuff.
It's a good kind of teaser that we can show everything else too, to be honest. So it's like, you know what I mean? Polish and show differentiators. I like what you're saying. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. So that's my thought process, and I think it'll work well for what we're doing here. I've worked with these people now a year and a half, and they need to not. Some of them understand we can't boil the ocean. Not all of them do.
Yeah.
So we just got to start with a pot of water here, and bring it to a boil, and get a bigger pot, and all that's heating up, and away we go. Yeah. So and then I asked Jonathan about the licensing and stuff, because the reality is we get it, and then we can start enabling these other things, and I see a potential for a really long relationship with you guys here with as we're rolling out different modules and doing different things with it. So the trick is going to be, and I said this to the guys too. Jonathan was showing the vision approach and the sprints and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be making sure that we can manage it from a sprint or an agile methodology, meaning smaller bites, quicker delivery. Always building on it. Not this 18-month project before you get anything useful.
100%. That's how we do our
projects,
I mean? Because you can see that, you actually see those live results.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yes. So that's why I got to keep them focused, and like I said, I want to get them excited about all these other things, and they may ultimately decide the one I think that we've been told right now is the priority might become secondary to one of your other capabilities, but I don't know until we start, showing this piece. But this is what they're saying they want right now, and it's senior people in the labor and workforce development that have been assigned to this team, and a lot of I don't know if it's brain power, but a lot of influence in the department. And the whole secretariat, I should say, that is on this team. That's really what I'm getting you in front of now. So I had a plan for have you do a exhibition game against a AAA team, and now you're playing the Yankees. Get to play against the Yankees. So
we're ready.
Yeah, I think you are. I mean, you definitely are. And I was trying to ramp you up slowly, more for our sake than yours, but there's no need to do that when I have this opportunity right now and you guys have this opportunity to present what you can do to solve this problem that has really been a stickler for a number of years for the Secretariat. So anyway, that's my long-winded spiel. I don't know. Did we get Jonathan back? I don't know if he's still. You there, buddy? No, he's still dealing with this thing. So I'll tell you what, if we need to talk again Monday, let's do that. But I think you both now, and I think Amir for the most part has the gist of it, where we want to try to go with this. Like I said, I think if we keep it focused on showing how we can deliver those bullets and highlight, and again, drop these little teasers all the way through about all these other things you can do. I think that's the smart approach.
I think so too. I'm going to work with Amir and Jonathan internally, but we're going to do that, and I think it's going to go over really well. So I like it.
Yeah, and I know I'm waking you early for this, for Tuesday. But
Well,
I think it's great.
If you can believe it.
You said 45 minutes. What the heck?
But we get on my end. I get up extremely early because we have other people.
You're
as well
dealing
on the
with
east
people
side.
like me.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm used to it. So we're good. As long as it's
I
not 4
appreciate
o'clock,
that.
that's a little early, but that's fine on our end.
Fair enough. You got to draw the line somewhere, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's good. I think that's good because we're saying we're starting at 9 and going for 45 minutes. Our meeting goes till 10, so I would not be surprised if the Q&A extends us to the full hour. So I hope you're ready for that.
We are.
All right. Anything else for me?
No, I think we're good. We're gonna sync internally and keep on polishing for the demo. But if we have any other questions, we'll send over an email. But I think we're good. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. You three get together, kind of powwow and everything. I jumped on you here, and if there's anything we want to clarify, yeah, we can get on a call Monday, or even well, I don't want to try to say early before the other call. Like you said, it's early for you guys. But anytime on Monday, I do have a couple minutes, but we'll be able to find the time. I want to make sure this goes well.
Okay. Sounds great. Yeah, I'll let you know if
Thank
you
you.
have any questions, but this is good.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Of course.
And
Thank you
tell
so much.
Jonathan, thank you, and Amir as well.
I will. Have a great weekend, guys.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye now.